Oh, brother, another video about this guy? I know what you might be thinking, folks. I know that it can be a little overwhelming to start talking about this guy one more time. But we are here. And we're talking about New York Rangers captain JT Miller in a dual threat commentary, because I also wanted to dive into some Artemi Panarin discourse as well. One may be on his way out, another has just gotten here, and we got some pretty interesting discussions on both. Actually, you know what? The Miller stuff's pretty spicy, and I want to save that till the second half of this video. So let's start out by talking about Artemi Panarin, Ranger superstar, 33 years old. He's making $11.6 million a year till the end of this upcoming season. He needs a contract extension. And if he doesn't get it, he'll become a UFA after just coming off of an 89-point in 80-game season. He's been really good the past few years, this Artemi Panarin, even though you can talk about how the Rangers have had varying levels of success in the playoffs and the regular season. Panarin has always gone out there and produced, but the latest from ForeverBlueShirts.com goes out there and talks about a new report on how Artemi Panarin reportedly turned down a Rangers team-friendly contract proposal. Let's scroll down and read this article, which will be linked in the description. It looks like Panarin may not be interested in giving New York a discount on his next contract. Panarin turns 34 on October 30th, less than a month into the final season of his 7-year deal that he signed with the Rangers on July 1st, 2019. There have been talks concerning a new contract, but no deal. Sportsnet's Elliot Friedman said on 32 Thoughts this week that the Russian forward rebuffed a proposal to do for the Rangers what longtime LA Kings center Anze Kopitar did, to take less money. Anze Kopitar, who just announced his retirement, he had signed 10 years ago on an 8-year deal with an AAV of $10 million a year, Friedman said. At the end of that deal, the LA Kings went up to him and said, "We need you to take a little less. It'll really help us win." And Kopitar did that. 2 years, $7 million a year. And I understand at some point this offseason, the Rangers had that kind of a conceptual discussion with Panarin. Is there a way that you could do for the Rangers what Kopitar did for the Kings? I don't know if that's going to be a possibility, but I do know that the two sides had the conversation. And obviously at this point, Panarin is unsigned, so we'll see where that one goes. Panarin has yet to play a preseason game because of a lower body injury sustained a week ago during training camp, though he was cleared for contact on Friday. The Rangers are off until they visit the Islanders on Monday, and Mike Sullivan said there's no guarantee that Panarin will see any action before the season starts on October 7th. In a perfect world, we'd like to get him into a game or two, the coach said, but a lot of it is going to depend on where he is, and we'll certainly err on the side of caution. Now, that Anze Kopitar situation is pretty nuts because he, of course, is an NHL legend, one of the best centers in the league for a good amount of time. Won multiple cups with the LA Kings and then got the bag. $10 million AAV for 8 years up until 23-24, wherein he ended up signing a team-friendly $7 million AAV contract. Artemi Panarin could have gone down a similar route, $11.6 million for 7 years and then taking a cheaper deal. I mean, the guy's made $87 million throughout the course of his NHL career so far, and that's not counting what he has done in Russia with the KHL. So to see Panarin turn down a team-friendly deal, it's quite interesting. And folks on the Rangers subreddit are going out there and talking about what exactly this could look like. If he doesn't want to take a team-friendly deal, as much as I love his play, it's time to make room for Kaprizov. Also, he gives a spot to Gabe Perreault in the top 6, who can potentially and hopefully be a 100-point player. If our top 6 doesn't continue to get younger, we'll be in a world of trouble for a few years. Man, look at the optimism here. Make room for Kaprizov. Gabe Perreault is a 100-point player. When's the last time we drafted a 100-point player? I just looked it up. Brian Leach, 39 years ago. And then a reply says, oh, JT Miller. Like, oh boy, yeah, no, JT Miller, 100-point player, eh? I mean, say what you want about Gabe Perreault, but JT is technically a 100-point player, and we have some updates in regards to him and him being the captain for the New York Rangers. I'll start out this conversation by taking a look at this article. This will also be linked in the description below. Miller is ready to turn the page on his past, and write a new chapter as captain of the New York Rangers. This piece talks about how the center arrived back in New York last season following a tumultuous end with the Vancouver Canucks. Let's talk about what Miller spoke about in regards to last season. There was a lot of outside influence, a lot of extra stuff going on in the last few years where I felt the urge to do more than I was being asked to do. It creates a monster, if you will. That monster still lives inside Miller. It always has and likely always will. But that part of him is a big reason why the Rangers named him captain on September 16th, one day before the start of training camp. He represents in so many ways what we hope Rangers hockey is going to look like with the way he plays the game. He is a fierce competitor. Miller says here, I'm still going to have expectations for myself and from the outer circles. I love that. It makes me the player that I am. I don't feel the extra added pressure. I really don't. But Miller is cognizant of his past and how rifts with former teammates in Vancouver, most notably with Elias Pettersson, exploded publicly and played a massive role during a season he said he'd like to forget, a season when the monster inside of him might have won too often. Last year, it was the most exhausting, Miller said. Bro, this guy's talking about how he's got a monster inside of him and it was affecting his play in Vancouver? Ay, what an interesting read. The piece then talks about how Miller went from an exhausting year in Vancouver. It's a long year, a year that he'd like to forget about, quite frankly, and now he's going out there with the Rangers, potentially trying to turn that page. I don't think it's ever going to be perfect, but the emotion I play with, it's in me. So it's managing that, keeping it to 5% of the time that it's bad, Miller said. We all know that guys who play with emotion, you're not going to be 100% good. It's easy for guys who don't have a heartbeat to say, hey, calm down. That's kind of empty to me. But I think it's about keeping to that 5 to 10% of the time. Do that, Miller said, and he'll be the captain his teammates want and need him to be. He's known to challenge his teammates at times and wear his emotions on his sleeve, and I think, as a captain, you can definitely do that as long as you're doing that on the ice, and it's something that JT does. Former Rangers captain Ryan Callahan said, who played with Miller during his first stint with the Rangers and also with the Lightning. Miller finishes his checks, he blocks shots, he does all those little aspects of the game, and he competes at a very high level. If you're doing that, you have the right to demand it out of your teammates. Let's go over to Miller's comments at the bottom here. Things are never as good as you think they are, and things are never as bad as you think they are. I had a teammate tell me that when I was here a long time ago, when I just feel like last season is a prime example, everything was so magnified. So I feel I took things more to heart than I had, and maybe celebrated things more than I had to. I can just realize that, man, it's a long game, it's a long season, so just keep pushing it forward. Sullivan says, move the needle, 1%. It might be cliche to some people, but now I understand what he means. Just keep moving it forward. You don't have to try to get it all and take a step back to do it. I've learned you can be patient and get what you want. I'm just trying to enjoy this and to be what I want my teammates to want me to be as captain. What the hell does that mean? I'm just trying to enjoy this and to be what I want my teammates to want me to be as a captain. Bro, what in the world? This is either a syntax error on the behalf of Dan Rosen or JT Miller just really talks like that. What the hell? That's all I'm trying to do, he says. I take an insane amount of pride in what's going on right now. I never thought this would happen years ago. Obviously, nobody would have. I know there are going to be moments that are going to stink, but it's nothing new. I take it as a challenge. I'm excited to see how I face it now because I feel more confident. And I think this top comment from the Rangers subreddit is pretty indicative of how folks are feeling about it. I get the impression that JT is either going to be an incredible captain or an absolute train wreck of a captain. Nothing in the middle. LOL. Talk is fine. Action is better. It's Miller time. Ultimately, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about JT Miller's interview with NHL.com, talking about the exhausting last season and how he's got a monster inside of him. And also let me know your thoughts in the comments as to Artemi Panarin rejecting a team-friendly contract extension with the Rangers. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. It helps us out with the algorithm. Dislikes are very much appreciated, and comments too. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.